Jessica's with us in Madison, Wisconsin. Hi, Jessica. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Great. How can we help?
So my question is, I had received some money when my dad passed away. We used that money to pay off vehicles and use it as a down payment on our house. And all we had for debt then was a mortgage. Since then, we bought a tractor and built a barn. We were told to just let the money ride in the market. We were never going to touch it. That was retirement money. As I've been listening to your show the last couple of weeks, I'm wondering if that was the best advice we were given and if we should pull the money from, the stocks and pay off our debt. And then
and then you need to quit buying crap you can't afford, like barns and tractors.
It's stuff needed for our business.
Oh, bull.
We bought one tractor.
You're buying stuff you can't afford. Okay? You know how I know you did that? You borrowed on it instead of paying for it. If it was such a dadgum good investment, you would have already used Daddy's stock money on that. Hello?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah.
My question is, do we pull the money from the stocks and...
No, you don't, unless you're going to quit borrowing money on the next thing that you rationalize and justify. But if you're stop rationalizing and justifying your purchases on debt, because you're going to eventually run out of this if you keep this behavior pattern going. But if you stop the behavior pattern and say, I'm never borrowing again, we're going to pay cash for everything we do from this point forward, then yes, we did this. But the last time you paid off all your debts, what'd you do? The next thing that came up, you went back in debt. And so if I tell you to pay off this debt, next thing that comes up, you're going to go back in debt. I don't want that for you. That's not a method to prosperity. That's a method to bankruptcy. And so you've got to put you got to spit, shake, and pinky swear with your husband. We're not borrowing money anymore. If you're going to do that, then take the money out and pay off the debt. But otherwise, you're destined to live a life of put and take. We're going to pay it off, then we're going to go back in debt. We're going to pay it off, then we're going to go back in debt. And eventually, we don't have any money to pay it off. Eventually, you run out of the nest egg doing that. So you've got to break this pattern. And you were very clear. We used some of the money, cleared off all the debt. How did we celebrate? We bought a tractor and a barn and went back in debt. You've got to break that cycle. You can't do that again and again and again. There's an end to it, and the end ain't pretty. So that's what I want for you. And there's no rationalization, no justification. You got to be done. You got to be done. You got to decide. We're done. It's an investment. It's always an investment. Everybody says everything's an investment that they want to buy, but most things aren't.
Yeah, and this is a key point about
Tractors
behavior.
aren't investments.
Or the barn. So what happens is when you feel the need to have something, you have to go, okay, what's the least amount of thing that I need to do what I want to do? Could we have done a shed that we could have paid cash for? What's behind these purchases? Not prospective opportunities. I'm going to need this barn one day. If we don't need the barn now, then we don't need to buy the barn now. And I think that's where people have got to start looking at this and going, wait a second, what do I really need? Do I need a big tractor or do I need an old used tractor that'll do the job? And that's what people have to do, or else you justify debt.
Almost every one of us buy a different thing when we buy it with debt than if we had bought it with cash.
I agree with that 100%.
Almost every one of us.
Yeah.
And you buy a bigger, badder, cooler.
That's correct.
Crazier.
Yeah.
Nuttier.
Yeah.
Dumber.
Right.
Thing.
You got to find a way to do it.
Because it doesn't feel like it's real money when it's the bank's money.
That's absolutely right.
And that's the trap of this. It's a siren song.
Yeah.
And you'll crash this puppy on the rocks, and that's what the sirens do to you.